Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Quaint. Around 4 to 6 million years ago, early humans started walking upright. That means they became bipedal. They started walking on two legs, and this was a revolutionary advantage because it freed our hands, improved our field of vision, and helped us migrate across continents. But you know that evolution always comes with a price. To walk efficiently on two legs, human pelvis had to narrow and rotate because wide pelvis wastes energy when walking. So a little modification was done by evolution, not little actually. This modification was not little. Anyway, what was the modification? Human pelvis became shorter, bowl-shaped, narrower, and strongly bent forward and inward. So this modification was done by evolution around 4 to 6 million years ago. So this modification was perfect for walking on two legs, but the same modification was not perfect for delivering babies. Okay, and this problem in medical science community is known as obstetric dilemma. One more interesting thing is there, that is while our pelvis was getting smaller, at the same time something else was getting bigger or larger. What is that thing? Our brains. Actually, if you observe carefully, then you can easily see that human babies have highest or the largest brain to body ratio if you compare with other animals. Okay, then brain to body ratio means I am talking about the size, means volume of brain and volume of body. So human babies have the largest brain to body ratio. Now you can easily see that human pelvis already became narrower and baby's head became larger, because since brains became larger, that means what is the requirement? The requirement is wider skull, wider and rounder skull. That was the requirement. So baby's actually skull became wider and rounder to house that larger brain. Now, these are just opposite to each other. Larger brain and narrower pelvis. And pelvis is the part of the birth canal. And evolution actually did this thing. And this is the core reason why human, better to say women, not human, better to say women. Okay, this is the core reason behind why women feel intense pain during childbirth. Means labor pain is intense, this is not you. And if you study animal kingdom, then in that case you can see that in their cases, childbirth is quite easy. Their path of movement, okay, path of movement of the babies during childbirth is straight. So animals actually, or better to say here mammals, they do not feel intense pain during childbirth, but humans feel intense pain. Because during childbirth, what is the requirement? Requirement is the rotation of the baby several times. A sequence of rotation is required during childbirth. It is like a choreographed dance inside the birth canal. Choreographed dance of the baby inside the birth canal. So much rotation is involved. Rotation and movement is involved during the childbirth. Okay, and one more thing is that since babies' heads are bigger, so strong contractions are required and those things happen. Strong contractions happen. Then one more thing is that stretching of ligaments, pressure on nerves, and that complicated sequence of rotation. Those things are simultaneously present during childbirth process, and that's why the pain is uniquely painful. The pain is uniquely painful. Okay, I'm talking about that labor pain. One more interesting thing is there in case of childbirth, human childbirth. Okay, and that is in case of humans, actually, early childbirth takes place. Means before the complete development of the baby, childbirth takes place. Because if the baby stays any longer inside the womb, we know what? Babies stay inside the womb for 9 months. But if babies are allowed to stay inside the womb more than 9 months, say for example 12 months or 15 months, in that case there will be a drastic change, and that thing would make trouble during childbirth. That is what? That thing is, baby's brain would grow bigger. Okay, if the babies are allowed to stay inside the womb for more than 9 months, baby's head would grow bigger in size. So childbirth means normal childbirth or normal delivery would become just next to impossible. That's why evolution did this thing. And this is known as this early childbirth in human is known as 4th trimester. Anyway, so actually evolution did this intentionally to prevent the childbirth obstructions, fatal childbirth obstructions. Evolution did this thing intentionally. One more interesting thing is there, evolution did that thing. That evolution actually arranged for cooperative birth process. Cooperative birth, because you know that, okay, mammals, they don't need actually any assistance of other mammals during childbirth. But you know that in case of humans, they need always assistance of other women during their childbirth, because it is so much painful and it is so much complicated. And from there actually the concept of that midwives we got. Okay, concept of midwives means actually evolution arranged this midwifery instinct, and it became a part of our evolution. This concept of midwives became a part of our evolution. Now we know that what is the cost of walking on 2 legs. Males are not suffering at all for walking on 2 legs, only women or females are suffering. During childbirth, they suffer a lot. One more interesting thing is that since human childbirth occurs early, okay, means early developmental stage. I am talking about early developmental stage. Before complete development of the baby, human childbirth occurs. And that's why just after taking birth, human babies can't even walk. They can't even hold their neck, and they need constant care. But if you talk about cows' babies or cubs, okay, means if you talk about other mammals, then their babies just after taking birth, they can do many things. They can run like mini horses. This is known to you. You have seen cows' babies. Just after taking birth, they can easily stand on their own feet. They can run like mini horses. But human babies can't do anything. They can't even sit. They can't hold their neck. That's why whenever we take babies in our hands, we need to take care of their necks, because they are not able to hold their own neck. So problems are known to you, and this thing happens in case of human babies because before the full development, delivery occurs. And evolution has made this intentionally. And the problem is known to you now. Anyway, so this was all about today's topic. Some noise is coming from outside. Anyway, ignore that noise. So this was all about today's topic. This is the end of this video. If you found this video interesting, so please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Anyway, thanks for watching.